Good afternoon. This is YC. Welcome to my channel, YC Cooks and Bakes. This afternoon, I am going to be making an easy, simple chicken cacciatori, and I thought I would take you along. The first thing that we want to do for our chicken cacciatori, other than me doing the noodles ahead of time, and I had leftover egg noodles and leftover bow ties, and that's what I did. I used leftover noodles, and I'm sure in your house you do the same thing. You're not going to leave leftover pasta and not use it somehow in some place. But the first thing we want to do for our dish is to brown each side of the chicken fillets in oil, and you can use a little bit of olive oil or a little bit of vegetable oil, but the high heat kind, that can help brown and sear each side of the chicken fillets. So we're going to do that right now. And I have 6. So what I'm doing is, in my pot, I'm doing 3 at a time. I'll bring you forward so you can see. See, I have them in there. It's sizzling away. Okay. And I'm going to get these brown on each side, and then I'm going to go on to the next 3. And then I'll tell you our next step once we get that beautiful chicken goodness all on the bottom of this pot. I'm just showing you the first 3 are already done. You can see how they're brown. And that's just salt, pepper, and garlic that I put on them before I seared them. And now I'm doing the next 3 each side. Okay, I've got the chicken all browned on each side. You can see that it's seared beautifully. And don't worry if you feel like some of it's not completely cooked on the inside. You'll be returning it back to the sauce to cook some more. Especially if you're just 2 or 3 people, you can do everything on the stovetop. I'm going to do the last part of mine in the oven only because I have so many. But I'm going to get these out of the way right now, and we're going to go on with the next part. Okay. Hang on one second. I'm going to get some of this, the splash from the oil cleaned up. Okay, when you are searing your chicken pieces, remember you're looking for that beautiful taste on the bottom of the pot to make this nice sauce after. So avoid turning it too soon, and don't mess with it while it's searing. Those are just the things you need to remember. We're going to go ahead and put in a little bit of minced garlic, about 3 teaspoons. Okay. And then you want to put in half of a medium onion diced. Okay. And at this time, you also put in half a pack of chopped mushrooms, or sliced, however you want to do it. And some thinly sliced green pepper, about 1½ green peppers. You can use red and yellow and all that too if you want. I just happen to use green for this. Oops. So this is helping, get all the stuff off the bottom of the pot. going to let this go here for about 5 minutes, and then I can bring you back. I'll show you what it looks like. You can see it in the pot, and I'll bring you back. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes now. I'm going to bring you back for the other part so we can make the sauce. Everything looks great. Okay, the next part, we're going to put in a cup of broth. You can use half cup broth, half cup wine if you want. And it's up to you, you know. Sometimes I have it in the house, sometimes I don't. I think the only thing I have in the house right now is that Marsala, and that's overpowering for this particular dish because I'm doing Cacciatori. Okay. And the broth helps, you know, lift everything off the bottom also. And then you want a can of tomatoes. You actually want 2 cans of this, but I'm going to use some. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for my second one because I didn't realize I was down to just one. So this is 14.5 ounce. You actually want a couple of these. You want anywhere between 28 and 32 ounces of the diced tomatoes with the juice. But I'm down to just one because, you know, I do a lot of cooking. So I'm going to use the rest of this because it has tomato in it. I don't run out for 1 can of tomatoes. If I have something in the house that can do the job just as well and make our meal taste good. And this is what I'm talking about. You have to do what you have to do. Yeah. That's the name of the game. If you run out every time you need something, ooh, I don't want to see your gasoline bill. No. And I like these jars too because when I'm draining, you know, fat and stuff from meats, I just pour them in this and then throw it out because I don't want to clog up my drains. Okay. So that's good. And then, so we have the broth and we have the tomatoes. So you want to put in a teaspoon of oregano. And that's what I'm going to do right now. If you have fresh, that's wonderful. I don't. If you don't have oregano, you can use Italian seasoning. That would be fine. And I'm going to use a couple of the parsley. And heaping, it doesn't matter. You can actually use fresh parsley. 1/4 to 1/2 cup. Okay. And then can't remember how much I used to use of. I used to use 1/2 teaspoon of the crushed red pepper. Okay. There we go. You know, I do everything heaping. Got a big family. Got a lot of people. You want a lot of flavor. And this is going to make the sauce. And if you're only 2 or 3 people, this can fit the 3 fillets of chicken. But I can't because I have 6. I only have a certain size pot. So I'm going to finish doing mine in the oven. But you'll see how beautiful this is. I'll show you. I don't know why it's acting like that. See? That's what it looks like. There's my phone. Hang on. Okay, because I can't do this all in the pot, I'm going to stir my noodles in here before putting it into my glass Pyrex. But like I said, you know, I used the bow tie pasta and, you know, the egg noodle pasta. And that's what I used. And I'm going to put this in here at this time and just stir it all up. Like that. I was just using, you know, partials. Okay, I'll get the next step. Okay, I want you to see what it looks like before I put it in the oven. You see it's pretty much done. You know, this is one of those meals that's done, like 30 minutes or less kind of meals on a busy night. And a lot of people cut they didn't used to do this years ago. They used to use like bone-in thighs or bone-in chicken years ago, like the legs, because Cacciatori means hunter. And then whatever vegetables they used is whatever the homestead had at the time, whether it be carrots and celery or whatever the case may be. But as time went on, we used tomatoes and peppers and onions and quick cook things, and boneless, skinless chicken breasts as opposed to skin on thighs and legs. So, and now they've gone to cutting it up like if you wanted to do it in a crock pot and stuff. You could literally cut the chicken up in pieces after you roast it to get the flavor from it. But we happen to like ours a fillet of it, and especially mainly my husband, he likes to have a fillet of it and not just all mushed in like a casserole. He's not real big on that. So I wanted to leave nice pieces. And so I reserved some of the sauce and veggies to top over the chicken. Now I'm going to put this in the oven for 15-20 minutes, and that's it. We'll probably sprinkle some Parmesan on it. You could put whatever you want on it, Romano cheese, whatever you want. And then that's it. That will be our chicken cacciatori. So at least all the dicing and the cooking on the stove is done, and I can get things cleaned up while this is in the oven. Okay, everyone, our supper is ready, and I wanted you to be able to see it. I'll pick you up so you can see it. There it is. And you can see we have the individual pieces of the chicken fillets on top of the noodles that have all the peppers and tomatoes and everything in it. And that is our chicken cacciatori. I hope that you give it a try sometime. I'll leave the recipe in the description. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and have a great night.